Sit comfortably, close your eyes, palms together. Pray to the God, Goddess, and all your gurus for today's class to get the blessing. Once you feel you are done, slowly open your eyes. Okay, today our objective was very simple and it was interesting. Okay, before we getting into today's class, I have to teach you two more concepts. Then we will entering into the today's class. My sound is clear, or you want me to increase my voice? Is that okay? Looks like it's okay.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. Today's concept was very easy. We are going to see about the sun in very detail. Before that, we are going to understand two concepts. One is the Marana Karaka, and the another one is the combustion. Okay, let's see about what is Marana Karaka. Marana Karaka means if it's related with the graha which is present in your Janana Jataka. In all the Navagrahas, if it is placed in one particular house, that represents your Marana Karaka. Okay, then the Marana means, in Tamil, the Marana means it's a death. So it's not going to give you that end easily. What is that meaning here? It will give you the struggle. The planet lose its potential. That's why it give you the so much struggle in your life to overcome that obstacle. That is the only meaning. Don't get deep into it. What simple thing is Marana Karaka definitely going to give you too many obstacles in your life. You are going to struggle for that. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, let's coming into the one. We'll see one by one grahas. First thing is the sun. Sun, if it is placed in your 12th position, 12th house, remember this is your birth chart, not on the Kala Purusha chart. It is your birth chart. From your birth chart, from your Lagna, if the sun is placed in the 12th house, then that is the Marana Karaka. Because sun, which is placed in the 12th house, means the sun is going to act as the Marana Karaka. So what it will do? The sun becomes more weak. You lose your confidence. There was no courage in you. Then that if any one person didn't have the courage, confidence in themselves, what will be the side effect of that? You can't be, you don't have an ability to face any kind of a challenge in your life, right? The same thing will occur in that person's life. So let's go into the moon. Moon, if the moon is placed in the 8th house from your Lagna, if the moon is placed in the 8th house means, then the moon is placed in the Maranakaraka sthana. That means a moon related with the mind. That too, it was placed in the 8th house. 8th house is in another way we have to say is it is placed in the hidden house. So with the mind and the hidden house, the moon loses all its potential. It becomes so weak. So your mind will then have any kind of a stability in your mind. You will lose the stability of your mind very easily. You will jump over one thing to another easily. Your mind wanders very quickly. Then all kind of the mind related problems will come. Let's come into the Mars. Mars, which is in the 7th house. 7, if the Mars from your Lagna, if it is in the 7th house, then that Marana Karaka Sthana for the Mars. Mars is the significator of your courage and it was your confidence level. If that was placed in the 7th house, then you definitely lose your courage and the confidence. Usually, if the Mars was placed in the 7th house, 7th house obviously it is your partnership, whether in the personal relationship or in the business relationship. That will going to affect no matter what. Okay, let's coming into the Mercury. Mercury is the 4th house. If the Mercury placed in the 4th house, that is becomes the Marana Karaka. Okay, here comes the interesting thing. If the Marana Karaka Sthana was in the 4th house, Mercury which is placed in the 4th house, it will affect your education or communication skill. Most of that, I will show you this Marana Karaka Asthana later. The person who I know very well, who's that? Myself only. I will show you how it has affected me, and I will tell you the reason also. Okay. The Mercury, which is placed in the fourth house, that will affect your communication, that will affect your any kind of your any the communication becomes the normal skill of any human speaking to another person, right? That is your way. Or nowadays, if one person want to communicate with another person, the communication is there too. That definitely goes weak if it was placed in the fourth house. Now let's go into the Jupiter third house. If the Jupiter was placed in the third house, whatever the Jupiter is going to give, it's a financial related, all kind of analytical skills, the wisdom, it will go weak. You won't have an energy to receive that kind of an wisdom from the cosmic energy, or you don't have the brain cells won't work in such a way, it won't be work in analytical skills. The analytical thinking level will be very less if the Jupiter was placed in the third house. There is the exception also. We'll see that later, not now. We'll go into the Venus, sixth house. If it was placed in the sixth house, the Venus was become Venus Marana Karakasthana was the sixth house. Which is going to affect it here? Definitely relationship. Sixth house is itself an hidden house from your Lagna, and the Venus was in that place. Then the Venus loses potential, it becomes so weak, so it won't be give any kind of an auspicious strength to any relationship in your life, particularly the romantic relationship. And coming into the Saturn which is in the Lagna itself, okay, there is the different combination will come. But Saturn which is placed in the Lagna, that is the Marana Karakasthana, it is going to lose, it becomes weak, but there are the exceptions will be there. That we will see that later. But remember, Saturn, when it is placed in the Lagna, it definitely going into lose its potential. Okay. Now let's see into the Ketu. Ketu in the fourth house, Rahu in the ninth house. Anyway, fourth house Ketu, Rahu ninth house, somewhat it is good. Why? If Ketu and Rahu is a retrograde planet, as well as it is a malefic planet, if it was placed in the Maranakaraka the potential of going to giving the weakness will be little bit reduced, but it doesn't mean it will be reduced drastically. Only little bit reduced, but it will do whatever it want to do. Okay. Why we need to understand this Maranakaraka? Because whenever you are going in to see the horoscope, we have to understand when the graha is placed in which house and why the weakness was emphasized on that particular house. Why this graha got weakened, we have to understand that point. Okay. Now let's, yeah.
So does that mean that if a person's Saturn is in his Lagna Rashi, that automatically reduces the auspiciousness of the Lagna Rashi or the strength of the Lagna house?
Oh, okay. Here is the point. Okay, give me one example. Which Lagna the Saturn was there?
So in my son's horoscope, in the Vrishchika Rashi, which is his Lagna Rashi, Saturn is placed.
Who's aspecting the Lagna?
Who's aspecting the Lagna? So in the Simha Rashi, there's Mars.
Mars is aspecting the Lagna.
Yes, yes.
Any Jupiter is aspecting?
Jupiter, no, Jupiter is in the 12th house.
Jupiter in the 12th house, Mars is aspecting your Lagna.
Sun, Mars, Moon, Venus, Mercury, all are in the 10th house.
Okay, which is what are the grahas aspecting only your Lagna?
I think only Mars, ma'am, because Mars aspects 4, 7, 8. So
Mars
only
is
Mars.
only aspect.
Yes, yes.
And it is in the Vrikshika Rasi.
Yes.
Okay, Mars is aspecting, Mars owns that house. The Saturn going to definitely plays it. It is going to the strength, the Saturn strength will be reduced. Okay. But Mars was giving the strength. That's why I asked which graha it is going to aspect.
Yes. Okay, ma'am.
I saw the peoples who have the lagna in Magara Lagna. Saturn was in there. See the beauty of here. Magara Lagna is the owner of the house is the Saturn. Saturn is placed in that house itself. But this person was super beauty. You can't even get the eye out of him even for 5 minutes. You can look at her for a very long time. His heart is also very kind, but it doesn't mean the planet is going to do its not going to work. It was going to do its work, but how it will be reduced because the Jupiter was aspecting.
Oh.
In your case, the Mars was aspecting. Mars aspecting its own house, and the Saturn was in it. Even though the Saturn was weakening its position, weakening the Jataka, the Mars is going to give the energy. So when the other Graha was aspecting and sharing the energy, the Jatak, the whoever it is, that person will gain that energy. But
Right.
that compensated when we see the entire Jatak.
Yes.
That's why I told you when you particularly the Saturn, you should not think it is in a wrong way. It was very beautiful one. When the Lagna was placed in when the Saturn was placed in the Lagna, these people are always thinking about the too much of work. They one thing about the side effect of this one is they always think about the work. They lose the work-life balance. Most of the time, their tendency towards the working tendency, they won't be getting into the life easily. So that's a one thing. But when you are when on the way they understand, okay, how the work have to be done, how the life have to be managed, they will understand on the way. Okay, that's it, right?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Vinita, I have a question. There are two planets aspecting the two planets Marana Karaka for fourth house. So does this mean they both have to be together, or either can, or when they're together, it's worse?
Okay, you are saying that Mercury is along with one more planet, but Mercury was in the fourth house. Is that your question?
Yes, my
No,
question is,
she's asking
what is
Mercury is also
Mercury is
fourth
separate?
house, Ketu is also fourth house.
So how does it work when it's together? It's a worse position, or to separate also it's the same? And also I have another question. Yeah.
Okay. If the planet was there, if the planet is in the Mercury was in the fourth house, right? The Mercury lose its potential. Remember, Mercury lose its potential. Ketu is also lose its potential. That is fine because Ketu going to lose its potential means the letting go of the person will be reduced. Mercury loses potential means when their communication skill will be reduced. Reduced in the sense that when the communication skill will be reduced, you have to think about the moon also, where the moon was placed. If the moon was placed in a good position, then this particular person communication skill won't be affected that much. But okay, I will show you my chart. That will give you of the good example of the Mercury. Give me a second.
Okay.
What's this? Okay. It's fine. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm going to switch the screen now. Okay, my lagna was the Tula Lagna. From here, you count which one was my fourth house.
Makara.
Makara is my fourth house, right? Mercury is at the fourth house. Where is the Venus? Venus is also along with the Mercury. Okay, but here comes the interesting thing. My mind goes very fast. Very fast means you can't even think how my mind will go. My word will come out very slow. My comparatively, I also told this earlier also. For example, my mind will think in 100 kilometer per hour. My words will come only 10 kilometers per hour. See the difference. Okay. So when I communicate to the other person, my mind will think paragraph wise. Okay. It will return in my mind level, it will return in essay wise. Okay. But when I utter into a word, it will come into only one sentence. So that's why the opposite person will think I'm not able to communicate. It doesn't matter. I'm not able to communicate. By the difference of mind level and the words which is coming out of my mouth, it's a difference. That have an effect there. Okay. See my moon. Moon is along with the Ketu. So my mind will go faster than I think. Mercury is already lose its potential because in the fourth house, and see the one beauty here. Why I'm saying this beauty, you will understand why here. Who's the owner of this house?
Saturn.
Where is the Saturn here?
In Kanya.
Yeah.
12th house. Because my Lagna is the Tula
Yes.
Lagna. See,
Yes.
it was in the 12th house. My Saturn is retrograde Saturn. Here comes the interesting beauty, right? It's again in the 12th house. The Saturn is a retrograde. Then the thing will be emphasized more and more. So that's why my Mercury effect was, the weakening effect was high. That I can see that in my communication, but not now. When the dasha was coming, when the Mercury dasha was happening, that time you can see that effectively in your life.
Is it
Okay.
only the spoken communication or written as well?
Both the things, because my mind goes fast, right?
So which
When
means your handwriting is probably
my
like a
handwriting is
doctor's.
good.
Oh, it's good.
My
Okay.
handwriting is good. You
Maybe
can read.
slow. Maybe slow.
No, I read and write very fast. I
Okay.
read very fast. I write very fast. Okay, there
That's a gift.
was one catch here. My reading level was very high. Why? Because my mind goes very fast. Whatever the thing which is in front of my eyes, it grabs easily. So my eyes goes fast, my mind goes fast. But when it was going and coming as an output, that gets delayed. But it's not happening now. Why? Because the dasha was varied. And when I understand that my problem, okay, the one interesting thing about the graha was, when you understand the problem about yourself, it will go so easily. Until you don't aware about your problem, it won't go. It will be stay with you for a very long time. But okay, let's come into.
Vinita, please explain the moon and the Saturn again, please. Sorry, I didn't get it so well.
Okay, Mercury was placed in the fourth house. Who's the owner of the fourth house?
Saturn.
Saturn.
Sorry.
Correct. Saturn only. Makara Rasi. Owner
Yes,
is
yes.
Where is my Saturn? Saturn is in the 12th house.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
The Saturn is a retrograde Saturn.
Hmm.
Okay, so what is that meaning? The Mercury was already it was in a Marana Karaka sthana. That
Correct.
itself weaken its position. The owner is also not placed in a good position. The owner is in a hidden house of the 12th. That too is a retrograde. So the effect will be doubled. The Mercury was in a weaker position. This much clear. Why I combined with the moon? Because the moon relate with the mind. When Mercury related with your communication, when you are communicating, you are not communicating only with the Mercury's energy, right? You're communicating with the moon's energies as well, and sun's energy and Mars energy, everything combined together. But I prominently take only two grahas for the moon, because your thinking, your mind level, and how you're processing your thought, and how it becomes an output of you. Why I combined the speed here? Because the natural energy, my lagna is a Tula lagna, is the movable Rasi, and that energy will be always stay with me. The speed was always there, but the speed is not combined with the Mercury. Why? The Mercury is already it was weakened.
Yes, get it. Thank you.
Yeah, it won't be catch up at my speed.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, once
Thanks.
you understand that this kind of a combination, okay, that's why the people will ask you to go to temple or wear the gemstones, wear the dress like that, so that you can increase in energy. Then you may ask the question: is that true? That kind of energy will that kind of energy will be increased in your body. Yes, it is true. But there was a one checkpoint there. If you are not believing that, it won't come to you. Why? The simplest thing. When you do a meditation, there are the Navagraha meditations also there. When you sit, you don't need to wear the jewel, you don't need to wear the gemstone. If you meditate, if you meditate on the Navagraha, that energy will be consumed by your physical body or any kind, all of your bodies. What is the reason here? Because when you're meditating, you're calmly observing their energy. The same thing happens if you're keeping any kind of that plant is related materials. It can be a stone, it can be a dress, it can be color, it can be a food related stuff, whatever it is. That increase that energy. That is true. You can go and do the trial and error and find out whether whatever I'm saying is true or not. Don't believe me, whatever I say. Go and try how it is working for. Okay, for one example, for the Mercury, because the Mercury was clearing in my mind. If you know about the Meenakshi Amman temple in Madurai, that place is for the Mercury. When the idol of the Meenakshi Amman itself in a green color. It's a very good place for the Mercury. And when you feel if you want to observe the Mercury's energy, if you visit the temple, you will understand that. But your intention will be very much clear. And there are some temples in southern part of India. It's specific to the grahas only. When you go into one, not only the grahas, they go one level deeper, specific to the elements also. If you go to the Nadaraja temple in Chidambaram, that is for the space. If you go to one Thiruvannaikal temple in the Tiruchi, it is for which element it will come. Tiruvannamalai for the fire. So there were the elements in the element specific temples also. Okay, why I'm going there? Come back here to the class. Okay. This is also happen when you can relevant element or material which you related to the graha, which you hold or used in your day-to-day basis, it have an impact. Try and observe and see whether it is working for you or not. Okay, later in some point in our classes, I will gradually introduce that part also. But you do on your own experiment and find out whether holding that material, having that kind of stones or using that kind of materials related with the planets, having an impact on you or not. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to change the screen. What's that? Oh, no.
Marana Karaka we continue, no?
What is that?
Marana Karaka is not completed. You are stopped in the middle. At the
What you missed?
That
What I
Marana Karaka, the last you have come to Venus, you had come there. There it was stopped.
Oh,
we are not completed.
Okay, I come back again. Wait a second. Give me a second. We share again this.
Vanita, one question, I don't know whether it's relevant or not. Going by your statement now, by using elements and colors and visiting temples, we can reduce the effect, the malefic effect of planets or the grahagati, whatever it is. In that case, what is the significance of destiny then? Because we people do talk about destiny when we talk about astrology. Certain things are supposed to be in our lives. We need to go through that karmic cycle, right? So and then the statement becomes contradictory. We by doing all this, can we change our destiny then?
Okay, when there is the graha influence, right? It won't allow you to, when your karma level. Okay, this is the interesting thing. I had the same question, but this is the answer I found. Okay, maybe this answer suit with you or not. What I am understanding, I will tell.
Okay.
When you are consider you have the 10% of the karma you birth on this planet at this time. Okay, you go on with this karma one. Okay, but you are doing some kind of the goodness in your life, and you do so many good in your life, and this karma I'm just giving an example. This karma level will be reduced. So when it was reduced at a point, it won't be it considered considered reduced to 5%. That time only you were the person search for a remedy. When the karma was in a full, the person won't search for a remedy. When there was a search for a remedy, definitely the karma will be reduced. And importantly, one more thing, even if you do the remedy also, there are some kind of the karmas you won't be reduced in this lifetime. That
Right.
you said is a fate and a destiny, right? That will come at that point. But in another story, if you search for a remedy, and what is that meaning? When you search for a remedy, when you are realized something in your life, whatever the karma which you are holding in your bag, it will reduce when you realize something inwards, not outward. When you are you maybe say something to other people without thinking or something, but inside you, in your inward journey, you understand the truth. Okay, this is wrong, this is right, this whatever I did, it was wrong. And whatever somebody was did that was wrong to me, and I understand my true potential and I understand my true value, that is the moment the remedy thinking will become. Until unless you won't meet any person, you won't hear the word also. And once you, and there was also one more thing, you go and do the remedy. If there was, you do as an experiment also. This is not the right time. Consider this is not the right time for you to do the remedy. One thing will happen, you won't meet the right person. Even if you meet the right person also, you won't have the time to do that remedy. Even if you do these two things in your hand, but one or the other way, your mind won't allow you. This thing will happen. The fate and destiny will continue until your karma was released completely. Okay, then you may ask, I don't want to do all this kind of remedy. The simplest thing, easiest thing, go and do the meditation. The karma will be reduced slowly and slowly. Okay, the one when I started my yoga, I started practice yoga in my school days itself. One of my first guru was always telling the one thing all the time. If you have an intent, do any kind of an yogic practice, particularly the meditation, the one important goal in your life is, I will say in a Tamil, I will translate that. Karmaya tuimai. What is that meaning is, you, whatever the karma, cleanse that karma in your life. If you can't able to do that, have the courage to do that in your next life. But put the effort in this lifetime itself. Okay, I guess I answer your question.
Okay, yeah. Interesting. Thank you.
Then, okay, let's coming into this Marana Karaka. Okay, why I combined this one? For the Marana Karaka Sthana, for Mercury is the 4th house, but for the Venus, it was not the Marana Karaka Sthana. The Venus level was good at this point, comparatively, but even though it was in a Saturn's house, if you compare the Venus and the Mercury, Mercury is already in a weak stage. Consider the Mercury is already in a weak stage. So it goes 10 points lower. Then you check the owner of the house. The owner of the house is a Saturn, which is in the 12th house in retrograde. So this Mercury, if already it was in the 10 points below, will go 50 points below. But the Venus will go 20 points below because the owner is not in a good house. But the Mercury will lose its potential further because it was not placed in a good house. This much clear?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and I move into the PowerPoint. Wait, it was not sure.
Marana Karaka further.
Yeah. Go 1 minute. Give me a second. Let me share the PowerPoint first. PowerPoint is, I guess it's in 8th house. It was hidden. Okay, let's go. Okay, that is the Marana Karakasthana. Research in your Jataka whether is any of your planet in the Marana Karakasthana. But remember one thing, don't get scared of this word because the I don't know in which language it will be gives you the scareness, but in the Tamil it will hit you at the spot. Okay, because the Maranam is the direct meaning is the death only.
Kannada also Marana it is common.
Oh, death
Maranam is
only.
common.
Okay, that's awesome then. But one interesting thing here was, if whatever the struggle which is given by this relevant planet, if you overcome this, you will see at least 1 moment to 1 second of the moksha in front of you. If you overcome this challenge, okay. So this is about the position. Once you understand this, check in your Jatakam also where your Marana is there. It's not compulsory all the Karaka should be in the Marana Karaka sthana. There are some Jataka, none of the planets will be in the Marana Karaka sthana. Okay.
Yeah, I have moon in Marana Karaka. Moon is my Marana Karaka.
Moon is in 8th house.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me too.
For you too. And how is that? That's an
So,
interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Before you
some
say,
people call me as emotionally indifferent. So I don't know. It's the effect of it.
that's awesome. Okay, before that, in the 8th house, Moon is in 8th house, which is any other Graha was aspecting your 8th house?
Rahu.
For me,
I have
Who's
moon with Ketu, and Rahu is aspecting it.
whose Moon with Ketu?
Me, I am Saravan.
Okay, and which Graha is aspecting Moon and Ketu?
Rahu.
Rahu. Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay, definitely Rahu aspecting. Any other planet?
No, nobody else.
Okay, how is your imagination level?
Yeah, it's okay. I think a lot.
You think definitely, because that was the Moon and Ketu will do. And with the Rahu is also aspecting, it will increase your imagination like anything. And you definitely you have an ability to create an illusion. If the Moon and Ketu was in a different house, if the Moon was in a different house, maybe you may not able to create an illusion thing, but definitely the thinking power will be high.
Yeah, thinking power is high, but I'm not very concerned about death or accidents. That I feel indifferent towards it. I have walked out of several accidents, and even when some people die, I don't cry. I don't remember when I cried last. So, so emotionally, I'm a bit indifferent.
Okay.
me too. Me too. But
Wow.
for me, I have aspect of guru. What he meant emotionally, when somebody dies, he doesn't cry. I think I have the same thing. Jupiter is aspecting my moon in the 8th. Jupiter in the 2nd house.
Jupiter in the 2nd house, you are aspecting. Where is your Ketu?
Ketu is in the 10th.
Ketu is in the
So
10th.
Jupiter also Ketu.
Ketu is in the 10th. Okay, let's go with the Saravanan first. Why he was having this emotional, I won't say, what you said, emotional indifference?
Indifference, yeah.
I would say it's an emotional balanced. But the same thing goes for me, because when the Moon and Ketu was there, the Ketu have an ability to let go of any kind of an emotion which is not necessary for you. Okay, even if you think like the death is necessary, the death is a part of the life. You won't see this one was a different. Even in any n number of an accident in front of you, you will feel that as a okay, it's happened, it happened, and whatever in the death was happened, okay, it's a part of the life. You move on. Why that kind of an energy level will come? Because the Moon and Ketu plays the role.
Yeah.
Is that match with you?
Yeah, true.
Okay, let's coming into Muralidharan sir, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Moon and Ketu should be together. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
No.
No, I'm just asking Vinita, 1 minute. When you feel detached, how should the moon, I understand, but Ketu should be with moon or aspecting moon?
Ketu is along with the Moon. The Ketu have an ability, like let go of anything, whatever it is, even if it is money, wealth, fame, pride, husband, wife, relationship, children, whatever is attachment in your life, you will let go immediately. And that it won't happen. Sometimes because we all humans, we have that, we are in an environment like the people will say this is a relation, this is an important relationship. you will give an importance, you respect this person, you respect that person. Because of an environment, you may have that kind of an emotion very little bit. For example, there was a person who didn't have this kind of combination. They feel 100% emotion means you only feel only 25%, 10 to 25% only. You won't feel that much. You will recover easily also. Even if you end up into n number of breakups also, you will recover that much easily. But that is not, the breakup thing is it's not an easy for you. You may recover. But
See, the
it will,
attachment part is much lesser. That's what to conclude.
correct, exactly. Exactly.
Not attached to emotions or to material or to pretty much anything.
Anything. And whatever it is.
You are able to let go.
Yeah,
Same,
very.
same
And
for
that
me
is
also.
very
Not
sweet.
together in my case, but Jupiter is aspecting Ketu in the 10th house. So I think I have the same behavior or condition.
Awesome. That's beautiful.
Vanita, if none of the above are there, if
That's
none
awesome.
of this is there, so then is that okay?
That's
Then you are blessed, ma'am.
yeah, you're blessed. The Marana Karaka star it's going to weaken your grahas. It's going to stand the considered if sun was in a full potential, but it was placed in the 12th house, it loses complete potential. Why you need the planets was placed in the Marana Karaka sthana? No need. If it was none of the planets was placed in the Marana Karaka sthana, you are too blessed.
Okay, so I have none of this. I joined late, so that is why I wanted a clarification. Thank you, Vanita.
You're blessed then.
Vanita, just a question. Vanita, what I want 2 points I want to ask. You were told me Marana Karaka is there. Let us have this chart. Now, 8th house is in the common is 8th house is the longevity. Is there any connection between Marana Karaka and longevity?
Oh, come again. What is it?
This is Marana Karaka you are showing here. So this is whether is related to the longevity of the 8th house in this one indicate longevity.
Yes.
So
Yes.
is there any connection?
Why there is a correction?
Connection.
8th house is Markasthana, sir. It's not just death.
Markasthana, longevity
It's also transformation.
No, Maranasthana. No, I'm telling you Maranasthana, Maranakaraka. Maranakaraka and longevity has any connection? The 8th house in your Bhava, it is longevity. See,
8th house represents the longevity, but if the moon was placed in the 8th house, so you are asking why it doesn't represent the longevity. That is your question.
Yeah. No, any connection is there?
No correction. The representation is correct. The house characteristic, the Bhava characteristics is significance is correct. Okay. But the moon, when it was placed in the 8th house, it's weakened its position. It weakened its time. So considered your moon was placed in the 8th house. If the moon was placed in an 8th house, even though if it was an exalted.
8th house, Manita, 8th house means it is not from the Lagna. Here, let us consider person lives Simha Lagna, takes Simha Lagna. From Simha Lagna, for him, 8th house will be only 5th house. From 3rd, 5th, it is 8th house means 3rd house, no? See, you calculate.
No. From your Lagna only. It's okay. Okay, wait a second. If you're in a Simha Lagna person, count 8th house. Which house will come 8th house?
Meena.
Meena, right?
Yeah.
So that is your 8th house. Not the Kala Purusha's 8th house. Yours 8th house. From your Lagna, count the 8th house.
Yes. No, what I'm learning, longevity, that has got any connection with this Marana Karaka.
Connection with Marana Karaka. Oh, okay. It's will coming into that point. Don't worry.
Okay.
Coming into that point later. Okay. But remember this one point. When the moon was in the 8th house, that loses potential. Remember that one point. That's more than enough.
Moon in 8th house.
When moon in the 8th house, it loses potential. Whatever the strength which is going, normally if the moon was holding the 100%, if it was placed in the 8th house, it loses potential. That's it. Remember that one point will coming into the 8th house significance later. Okay, that time will combine everything.
Another question, out of all the grahas, which are strong, which are the weakest, which are the strongest? out of all these Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury,
That
Jupiter.
we saw in the Shadbala, right? You remember Shadbala when we learn about the year.
Okay.
When we learn about the earlier classes, we separately understand which planet is the good planet, which planet is the planet which is stronger, which is medium one, which is neutral. We understand everything in the earlier classes. Okay. Suppose if you didn't remember anything, in the Jagannath Hora, you go into the Shadbala part, there you can understand which Graha was the stronger planet, which Graha is the weaker planet. Okay. Any other question?
No, thank you.
I'm on.
Vanita, if Rahu is in 9th house, you say it is Marana Karaka, right? So, along with that, if Guru is there, does it?
Guru in 9th house.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Don't worry. The Rahu is going to lose its potential means that's totally fine. Guru will enhance his position because now which 9 is represent what? 9 is represent your Trikona. That too your Dharma Trikona 159. Among with the Rahu, because it even though it was within malefic planet, but the Guru strength won't reduce.
Okay.
Okay.
With the last question. Suppose Saras usually most of the horoscope what I see, all the houses are blank. Then what it means? Blank. So many no planets are there. All are blank, empty. So what it means? No grahas are there. Out of 12, only 3 floors will be there. All will be blank. So what it means?
That's okay because when you are born at that point in time, on your top of the sky, if you divide it into 360-degree 12 houses, the graha was grouped into only 2-3 houses only. Other houses is empty, that's fine. But how you can identify that when the empty boxes was there, because means there was no graha in it, then you have to consider the owner of the houses because the owner of the houses definitely placed in one of these 3 boxes, right?
Yes.
Then you have to understand which one is aspecting, which is not aspecting, which is exalted, which is depleted. So you find from that.
Okay. Thank you.
Can we move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Let's go into combustion. Okay. This is again interesting. Okay. One thing. Combustion means when any of the graha which is combined, which is coming close to the sun, it considered as that state as the combustion. Most of the time, who's the other 2 planets is always come close to the sun? You remember this one?
Mercury, Venus.
Mercury, Venus. It's always within the 3 boxes only, one forward or backward. These 3 grahas goes for all the time. It's most closed together, but they often get combusted. That's totally fine. Okay, but we have to understand when the Rahu and Ketu leave the Rahu and Ketu because these 2 are the retrograde planets. We need to consider in the combustion. When comes into the moon in the forward motion. Okay, only the 2 planets, Mercury and the Venus, when it was in the retrograde, also we considered the combustion. Otherwise, when it goes in the Mercury and the Venus, when it was retrograding, the degree will be different. Otherwise, other grahas, forward or the retrograde, the same degree will be there. Let's consider first moon. When the moon was in the 0 to 12 degree, if the sun was in between the 0 to 12 degree, sun is also there, then it considered as the moon is combusted. Okay, the same thing, whether it is before the sun or after the sun, within the 12-degree range, consider this is sun, this 12 degree, this 12 degree. The moon have going to be combusted in this range, before or after the 12-degree range.
Vanita, what does combustion mean here?
Combustion means when the sun was, combustion means it was, when you see normally when one object gets combusted means it destroyed completely, right? What the sun will do when the sun was closed to any of the graha, it makes the lose the potential of the other graha, it takes over. So, but consider when there was an one in your box, you have the sun, you have the Mercury. But the Mercury was combust to the Mercury. Sorry, the sun was combust to the Mercury means the Mercury was loses complete potential. Here only your sun is going to work. Then not your Mercury. The Mercury is already weakened completely.
Okay.
You got the point here?
Yes, clear.
Okay. Then for the Mercury, when it was in a forward motion, 0 to 14 degree. When it is retrograde motion, 0 to 12 degree. Venus, 0 to 10 degree. Retrograde, 0 to 8 degree. When the Mars is the bigger planet, so the range is also high. 0 to 17 degree. Jupiter, 0 to 11 degree. Because if the Jupiter was placed and the sun is also placed within the 0 to 11 degree, then definitely the Jupiter is going to combust. This should not happen. This will definitely weaken the entire Jataka immediately. Why? The Jupiter is a very auspicious planet. When it is combusted, means the auspiciousness of the Jataka will be reduced drastically. Okay. Then the Saturn. The Saturn in the 0 to 15 degree. What is a 0 to 15 degree means? If the sun and the moon is within this range, sun and the Saturn within this range, 0 to 50 degree, then there is a tendency, then there is a possibility of the combustion. The combustion is clear? Means anybody have an, okay, the combustion, the word is the astanga. In Tamil, we call it astangam.
Asta is not visible, basically. When you look at the sky, like that's what I was trying to tell. So if Mars is within 17 degrees to within the sun, you will not see it. So I was looking for Mars for a long time, and until at least now it is visible because it's about 7 plus 7. Yeah, it is actually 17 degrees actually. So sun is in 10 degree Makara, and the Mars is 22, 23 degrees in Dhanur Rashi. So it is visible until that angle, that 17 degrees reached. 0 to 17, it was not visible also.
Yeah, because that it was the sun has super potential, it blocks that energy. So when the Jataka was born at that point, even though the sky, the Mars was there, but the sun was overcome that. So you don't have this Mars energy, you have only the sun's energy. Okay, so if you come across any of the combustion, a combusted graha in any of the Jataka, we'll discuss. I couldn't find anything, otherwise
Yeah, I have one. Mine. I have Mercury, Venus, Saturn combusted.
Mercury, Venus, Saturn combusted. That's an awesome. Can you share your date of birth? Is that okay for you?
Yeah. 20 July.
This is the one.
I can even share the screen.
You please do that then. I'll stop the sharing. You want me to? You can able to share the screen, or I have to make you host?
No. I'll share my details. I'm not able to share.
Oh, I can make you host. Give me a second.
So you're also born in July, sir. I'm also born in July.
Yes, sir. Born in July.
Saravanan only, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I make you host.
Got it. Okay. I think you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can. Mercury, Venus, Saturn combusted. Okay, it's in a 9 degree, 12 degree, 11 degree. Okay, where is your Lagna? Your Lagna is the Kanni Lagna, and everything was combusted in 11th house. Oh, okay. Where is your Jupiter? Jupiter is not expecting anything. There is no retrograde.
Madam, Jupiter is not with Jupiter is 579, no? Expecting.
Yeah.
Jupiter from here.
Yes,
Fifth,
Jupiter
seventh
was
and ninth house.
his 10th,
Madam?
12, 11. His Jupiter is in his 9th house.
Fifth and seventh, ninth house. No, Jupiter aspecting.
Mm.
Here, Jupiter is in.
See, this is wonderful. This is
Jupiter
wonderful.
is looking. Yeah.
Jupiter is aspecting his Lagna.
Lagna, correct.
And it was in the 9th house.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah.
So
And
the
five,
Lagna and the is aspecting the 9th house, and it's aspecting his 3rd house also, and 5th house
Jupiter.
also.
No, Jupiter is aspecting only 5th, 7, 9. No?
5, 7, 9, correct.
Yeah,
So see, from this chart, understand one thing. His Lagna was the Kanni Lagna. Okay.
Yeah.
Then where is then Jupiter? Jupiter is his 9th house. Is that correct? 9th house, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
From the 9th house, we'll find out what is aspect of the Jupiter. Jupiter is aspecting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Lagna. One aspect. 5th aspect aspecting the Lagna.
Yeah.
Then the 7th aspect aspecting the 3rd house. 9th aspect was aspecting the 5th house. This much clear?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, that's why he have a wonderful wisdom. And Mercury was combusted, means it lose its potential, that too in the 11th house. You may not have a luck in your communication or in a relationship or in the work. Is that true?
True.
Ah.
I seldom speak as a result. So.
Because of the Guru was expecting you, right? You have the tremendous knowledge. Definitely you have a wisdom. And that was expecting the 3rd house. This is an interesting one. See this. Guru was expecting the Lagna, that is the Jataka. 3rd house is for your communication. But that Graha, significator of the communication is Mercury, that was combusted fully. And Mars, where is the Mars?
12th
Mars
house.
is in the 12th house. Oh, that's why I don't like to speak. Okay. And let's see your relationship. 7th house is in the Jupiter's house. Jupiter is in a good position, but the significant was lose the potential. Oh. I don't know. I have to ask. I can ask this question or not. How is your
go ahead.
relationship? How is your relationship? Because the relationship.
No, I'm not married.
Okay, but you ended up in any kind of a relationship and breakup?
No, there were a lot of alliance which my parents looked at, but all of it failed.
Yeah, possibly. Because even though the Jupiter was in a good thing, but your Venus was supporting that.
Yeah.
Okay, then definitely the Saturn, let's see his 10th house or 6th house. Your 6th house was good. Definitely you will work if you have an ability to work.
Yes.
And your 10th house is in the Mercury. You may not able to start a own business.
Yeah.
You haven't. Are you running a business or are you working?
No, I'm not running a business.
Yeah. If you're starting a business, be careful and check 1 or 2, 3 times if you want to start a own business.
No, I'm not starting a business. I was working for the last 20 years till 2017 end. And I left the job after that.
Okay. If you're going to start a business also, think twice, thrice.
No, I'm not starting a business. Definitely not.
Your working house was really good because the 6th house is for you are doing your work for others.
Yeah.
Even though if you're earning, but you work for others. That was really good. Why? You were, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your 6th house is the Saturn. Oh, that's why you get wait. Why I
Only the 6th house means from Lagna, no?
Yes, 6th from the Lagna. 6th from the Lagna was his Kumbha.
1, 2, 3, but blank, no, it is.
Yeah, Kumbha.
Kumbha. But who's the owner? Owner is a Saturn.
Kumbha's owner is Saturn. Saturn is
Saturn is in
also
the 11th house.
Astanga. Yeah.
Astanga. So that is why his significator of the work was not in a good position. You may have the trouble definitely in the work also.
Yeah. So I started with a gap immediately when my Rahu Dasha started. So maybe Kujavat Ketu, Shani Vakt Rahu, because of that, I have a break.
I see. Okay.
Okay, let's go. I just want to give an example. That's about it. Yeah.
This is a wonderful example. I love it. Can I take a screenshot of this if you don't mind?
Yeah. Go ahead, please. I can also share my details if you want.
Oh, please do that then.
Bharani Nakshatram, right?
Sorry?
Bharani Nakshatram, right?
That's
You're
correct.
born in Bharani.
Yeah.
Okay, I stopped. Can you stop the sharing? I couldn't make
Yes,
you
I did.
stop.
Yeah, I did.
Punita, could you explain Mars in 12th house? What does that mean?
Mars in the 12th house. 12th house is the hidden house, right? Wow. What is the meaning of the hidden house? It whatever the energy which you are going to observe from that particular planet, it won't reach you that much effectively. See, for example, if I sitting at the waterfalls in the top of me, I can get the full water all over my body. Okay, but the
Correct.
waterfalls in the profile set, I can get this waterfall only on my one portion of my body, right? Not fully. Correct. When it was in the hidden house, consider on the top of your head that Mars was in the hidden place. So, what is the significance of your Mars? The Mars is going to give you the courage, confidence, and what kind of the energy which you are going to need in your life. That will be given by the Mars only. If that energy was hidden, you will get partial only. So when the Mars was not in the correct. Okay, my Mars is also in the 12th house. My Mars is also the second house and the 7th house. So when the Mars was whatever the significance of the second house and the 7th house, you will get struggle a lot. You won't get that easily. That's it. That when that significator planet was in the hidden house, you will definitely have the struggle, no matter what happens in your life.
Okay, thank you.
Let's come back here. Saravanan, can you please make me a host?
Saravanan.
Yeah, I'll do that. How do I do that?
On your in my name, there was 3 horizontal dots there, right? You see that?
Oh.
There is the option will come.
Yeah. I do.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Done. Thank you.
Okay. Now let's see into. Okay, that's about the combustion. But definitely we will see the combustion later on in our classes also in very detail. Okay. Okay. I will start. Is that okay? I can extend the class for 10 more minutes because I really want to start the sun today. Is that okay?
Please go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Now, from today onwards, we are going to see in every graha in great detail and along with the Jataka analysis. So you will get a deeper understanding about every planet. Okay. Today is the first planet, our superhero, Sun. The Sun represents the life force of any human being, any living being in the body. Any living being in the body, the Sun represents that life force. Whether it is the planets, tree planets, whatever it is, the Sun is the main source of the life force. Now let's get deeper into our hero. Okay, first thing. Let me make this in a slide show so that you can see in a bigger. Why? Okay. Okay, let's see about the Sun. Sun owns which Rashi? Sun moons which Rasi?
Simha.
Simha, Leo.
Simha Rasi.
Same.
Okay, Leo, Leo, Simha, whatever it is. Okay. When the sun, in which house the sun will get exalted?
Sun exalted in
Mesha, right? You remember the
yeah,
exaltation point?
Mesha. Mesha.
Sun exalted in the Mesha Rasi. Exact. The sun exaltation point is 10 degrees. Okay. Then the easiest way to find the debilitation is you go exactly seventh house. That is your debilitation point. So when you are in a first house, directly goes to the seventh house. That is your debilitation point. So the Tula Rasi is the debilitation. The
Yes.
debilitation points is also 10 degree. Okay, this much easy, right? We remember this one. We already learned everything. All this.
How do you know, Manita, how do you know it is 10 degrees?
I didn't know anything. The peoples will already find out these exaltation points, debilitation points.
10 degrees, 10 degrees.
We are going to just remember that one.
10 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we'll go into the no. Come on. Okay. Now we'll see the Mula Tripona. You remember the sun was in the Kalapurusha, in the 12 houses, among the 12 houses, sun related with mainly on sun owns only one house only. So definitely that is one which house? Simmarasi.
Similar.
So the Mula Trikona is also the Simmarasi. But in the Simmarasi, first 20 degrees is the Mula Trikona. So what is that meaning? When the sun was placed in the Simmarasi itself, and that too within the 0 to 20 degree means the sun's energy will be drastically high. Okay. Which gender it was represent? It represents the men gender. I mean, when the sun was placed in the Jataka, it's literally meaning the gender wise, it is the men. Men's energy. Remember, it's not about the literal meaning of the men and women, energy wise. It is the men's energy. What is it, men's energy? It will be a very strong and bold energy. Okay. How many aspects the sun was having?
One. That is 7.
Only one.
7.
Seventh aspect only. Wherever the sun was sitting, it sees the exact opposite direction only. That is the 7th aspect. Okay. When comes into the sun, what is the direction? Sun rise in which direction? East direction. Okay.
East.
There is a directional strength also that you have to remember. Every planets have the different directional strength. But for the sun, it was the south represented as the directional strength. Now the important question. Sun is the malefic planet or benefic planet?
Malefic.
Malefic planet. Even though it was a Sattvic Graha, why it is considered as the malefic planet? Because of the energy which is going to give it to the Jataka, that becomes the malefic. Why? The sun is not like a Jupiter or Venus giving a very soft energy. The sun will treat you as a very strict teacher. It will hold your hand, slap on you, and give you a lesson in a cruel way. That's why it becomes the malefic planet. Okay, when comes into the Devata means, see, sun is the Devata, and he also going to praise some other Lord, right? Some other Devata. So the Adi Devata for the sun is the Agni, and Pratyadi Devata is the Shivan. So you may come across this kind of the thing when the sun was not, when the sun was placed in the Bhatakasthana, when the sun was in the Marana Karakasthana, when the sun was in hidden houses, then the people will say, okay, go and visit the Shivan temple. That is the best thing. Why? When you visit any kind of the Shivan temple, the important thing about the Shivan temples is the element is the fire element. Okay, one more thing. All the Shivan temples are not rich with the fire element. Okay, in South India, when you come into the South India, the Shivan temple holds a different kind of the elements energy, water element, earth element, air element, space element. But if you want to increase the sun's energy, you have to visit the Shivan temple with the fire element and with the with the fire element only. Okay. So that's why the Agni.
How can you make out which Shivan temple has which element?
Tiruvannamalai, okay, how you can find out? You can ask me also, I will tell you which Shivan, which is Shivan temple is for what. But for the fire, you can go to the Tiruvannamalai. That is the best and best temple for the Shivan as well as with the fire element. But how you can find out? How I find out? I don't know. Because usually I visit the temples. I don't know. Because if you can tell me which temple, give me the name, I will tell you the answer also. But I don't know how I find that. But the fire element at the Shivan temple, Tiruvannamalai is the two best. Okay, one important thing about the Tiruvannamalai is if you have the destiny, if you have the fate, only you will visit the temple. Even though you may reside in the Tiruvannamalai, you may not visit the temple because that energy level was too high and you can't even understand that kind of an energy. Tiruvannamalai is such a wonderful temple. That is for the fire element. Okay, now coming into the Adidevata. Adidevata is an Agni. I don't know where specifically most of the peoples will directly go into the Pratyadidevata only. But there is also some other things. If you regularly conduct homa in your home, the sun's energy will be increased in your home space itself. At least conduct homa, the Ganapati homa or Satyanarayana puja.
Yeah, that's Havan, yeah.
Any kind of the puja, mostly even if you are conducting the Ganapati puja, that is more than enough. Once in a year. In any kind of if you are a devotee to the Devi, conducting that kind of the Devi puja means homa means you have to lit the fire and you give the ahuti into it and do japam number of times. But when you are following this homa, there is a strict rules for that. You have to be sit in this direction. You have to be sit in this. Draw this yantra on top of this heaven will be placed, and you have to put this kind of an ahuti only to welcome that devata into the space. But there are in the southern part of India that we call there are many Iyer will be there. They will the priest, we call it as the priest. They will come and conduct this kind of the homa into your home also. You no need to do that. But performing the Ganapati puja is easy if you are familiar with that. Otherwise, don't take risk. Get help from other peoples and conduct the homa if you like it. Okay. But conducting the homa in your home, that will enhance the energy level. The enhancing this energy level in the home will be a different. You will easily find out the difference. Okay? That was the one thing, visiting the Shivan temple. But if you ask me, what do you want to do? I will ask you to walk under the sun at least for 10 to 30 minutes. Do Surya Namaskar at least for 6 to 12 rounds. Walk under the sun at least for once in a day. That's it. If you ask me, my recommendation, only these three. Okay, there was one important thing. If you want to increase the sun's energy in your body, simple thing, go under the sun. That is the best and best. And there is also one more thing. If you take a water, consider one bucket of water, put the neem leaves into it, and keep that water under the sun at least for 12 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours. Let the sun absorb into that water for a while and take the bath in that water once in a while. That is also gives the sun's energy in you. And if you have a chance, place a drinking water under the sun, but don't put the water pot under the sun with the lid open. Make the muslin cloth on top of it, cover it with tightly, then place it under the sun. Drink that water also. That is also going to increase your sun's energy. But these two combinations will only work when you are living in a space, not in the kind of an urban space where the apartments was there. You can't even see the sun until you open the window. That is not conducive. But when you are living in a space where you can easily see the sun when you step out of the home, You have the vast space around the home, do this kind of an experiment. Okay. Then comes into an element. Element is the the elements the elements is an Agni. Okay. Dosha is the Pitta dosha. We already talked about this one. There are the three type of dosha in your body: Pitta dosha, Kapha, and Vata. Pitta relevant with the fire element. So the element is the fire. Agni also you can mention the Agni, and in the terms it's a fire element. Dosha is the Pitta dosha. Okay, now the other things you have to see this one is see the time. It's already consumed. Give me one more minute. The areas where the sun's significance in around your any temples, okay, sun's energy definitely will be there. Without the sun's energy, you can't pradishta any temple. Any kind of the idol also cannot be pradishta without the sun's energy. Definitely, the sun's energy have to be there. All the government building, sun's energy. If you see the fort, any kind of the fort, the golden forts, that is also sun's energy. Solar houses on the, if you see any of the houses which is on the solar implemented on the top of the roof, definitely sun's energy will be there. Any kind of the stone buildings, you may not see in the urban areas, but if you see in the rural areas, particularly in the mountain areas, if you go into the eastern part of an India and in some part of the country, they still have the stone houses that have the sun's energy. And in the mountain and the mountain related regions also, sun's energy was really, really high. Okay? Then when comes into the trees, it's any trees which is in a big and very strong trees, that's all belongs holding the sun's energy, definitely. But you may ask, every planet was observing the sun's energy. That's different. Holding the sun's energy, okay, why I'm saying this one? When you touch any of the tree, if you that tree can have an ability to heal you. You believe this or not? Okay, I will tell you one thing. In the earlier days, when the peoples got sick, what they will do? They go and hug the olden trees, the tree which is having an age of 100 years to 1,000 years. They will go and hug the tree. At least they will go and touch the tree. It will give you the wisdom. It will give you the energy healing capacity into your body. Mostly, if the peoples who are in a healing,
we still do it.
Yeah, do it. That's good. If you didn't find, this is my kind of an experience. If I didn't find any answer of any of something was into my mind and I couldn't find an answer, I touch some of the trees which I can find an answer. If I touch and tell them I didn't know about this, one or the other way I will get an answer. Okay. Even if you tell something, okay, I'm thinking in a stupid way, guide me in such a way, they will guide you. You may think it is the stupid, but for me, it's occurring to me oftenly, so I believe in that. But this is the kind of you communicate with the nature. When you touch the plant, when you touch the tree, if you have an ability to communicate with them, you already communicate with the nature. Okay, mostly the people who are in the healing field, definitely they have to touch the tree at least once in a week. Because whatever the negative energy they observed in their body, it will be grounded immediately. Particularly the people who are in the Reiki and the pranic healing, they have to do this for sure. Otherwise, the observance of the other people's negative energy will be drastically high, the people who are in the healing field. Okay, the season is summer. Okay, the sun takes 1 month to transit from one Rashi to the another Rashi. This is understandable, right? 1 month time. So that's why it will take one month. Altogether, it becomes the 12 months. It becomes a 1 year. So for the sun to complete this one cycle, it will take 1 year. This much clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, guna is a sattvic guna. And the Vahanam means it's the riding force. Riding is the horse. And the grains, when it comes into the food, wheat particularly, carrot, pepper, fenugreek seeds, it's all the sun's energy. If you feel you are okay, experiment this one. Anyone who's having the Badakasthana, sun is in for the Sararasi it was the 11, Sthirarasi it was 9 and 7, Ubhayarasi. If anyone having the sun in the Padakasthana, your wheat intake may not, your wheat give you the indigestion to you. Try and tell me. Okay, coming into the color red orange or reddish orange or any kind of this combination will relevant to the sun's energy. Flowers, the saffron, as far as I know, we call it as one more planet or more flower planet, which is called as in Tamil, it is a Sendamarai. I don't know how to translate into English, so I didn't type it there. But there was one planet which is called the Sendamarai. Find out how it, what I don't know how to translate. Okay, if you find out an answer, tell me. In the metals, when it comes into my metals, it's a copper, but I put a glass and ceramic. Okay, if you want to enhance in your home the sun's energy into your home, use glass and ceramic items. The sun's energy will be increased gradually. Okay, for example, if you cook the food in most of the time I saw in the hotels and the Muslim houses, this is what I see, my experience, I may be wrong. They do one clever thing. When they cook the food, they immediately transfer into the glass bowl or the ceramic bowls. Mostly in Chinese, where I'm living in this country, these people also do the same thing. In most of the hotels around here, once they cook the food, they immediately transfer into the ceramic or the glass bowls. They won't use any kind of the metal here, particularly. I saw the people who Chinese, they usually do like that. The copper is the best absorber material for the sun's energy. And the gemstone is the ruby. And okay, now the time goes on. There was so many things to discuss. We will come back in this next week. We will understand more about the sun first. Then we will deep dive into every houses, how the sun will behave when it was placed in 1 to 12 houses. Okay, it will take time. We'll go slowly. Okay, if I go fast, tell me. You can stop me any point in time. You know that very well. Till now, any questions?
I have a question, but then the sun, you said it is malefic, right? The sun is malefic. So if the sun is strong, sun if it is in the Shadbala, the highest strength in my Jataka is for sun. So does that mean that malefic effect of sun is high?
No.
Or the sun's energy high?
Okay. Let's see the characteristic of the sun. Your authority will be high. Say whichever I'm wrong. Okay, your authority will be high. You dream big. Your dream is not that much easy. Not any average person can do that. You always dream big, and your administrative level was really high. You have an ability to control other people's. And if the sun was strong, definitely your administration will be in a high level. If any of the things was wrong?
I don't control other people. I don't think, and I don't dream big though. I mean, my only big is only. I'm very kind of more spiritual. I don't really have any kind of dream. I mean, only to reach God is the only dream. That's it for me.
Okay, where is your sun? Where is your sun?
It's in Karaka, July.
Where is which is your Lagna?
Lagna is Meena, but it's actually in Bhava Chalita Kundali. It comes to 4th house.
Bhava Chalita. Don't Bhava Chalita, we'll see that later. Well, I need only your Lagna was the Meena Lagna, but the sun was in the Karaka.
Yeah, Karaka. Yeah.
So that means.
And it's also Vargotama. So is Navamsha also same position?
So it's in the 5th place, and it's also in the Trikona. Oh, because of in the moon's place, the sun's energy will becomes the motherly nature. We will see that. We will see that. We'll see that. Well, this is a wonderful example. How come the strong planet becomes the just opposite of that? We'll see that. Wow.
Oh.
Any other question?
So we'll study his chart. I mean, you'll give us an example and show us.
We'll see. We will do that. If he is okay, we will study his chart also.
Yeah. I'm like Mr. Saravanan. I have given out to everybody.
Definitely. We'll see that then.
Nothing to hide.
Thank you.
Okay, almost I took of your 21 minutes of your time. I'm extremely sorry.
No, we are lucky to have.
No, not
Thank
at
you.
all. Thank you, Vinita.
Thank you so
Actually,
much.
I should apologize. Probably my example took a lot of time.
Oh
No.
no.
No,
How
we
many
also got
Jadakam?
knowledge.
No, that is a gift. How many Jadakam you see? How many Jadakam you read? The Graha will speak to you. One of my teacher was telling, until unless you see number of the Jataka in your life, you are not able to predict. You are not able to read any Jataka. So see the Jataka number of things. We all thankful to Saravanan. Okay then. If there was no question, we'll end the session here. We'll see you all next week.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Yes,
Vinita.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Bye.
Vinita. God bless.
Thank you. Bye.